Welcome pilots, my name is Hybrid V and we are back again to watch your takeoff and landings this week. I asked in my previous video where we should go next and you guys resoundingly said Grim Hex, mostly because it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy that everybody knows and loves. There's plenty of PvP action out here, it's quite lawless. The armistice zone is very tiny, it's in space, so any number of things could happen. People crashing into rocks, PvP, or just, any type of mishaps that happen at the hangars. You can see we have 6 small hangars here and 6 medium hangars below, as well as a capital one on top, which is not going to be the focus of today because hardly anybody ever uses it. But yeah, GrimHex has also all side hangars here. This is the entirety of the hangars. Now, there are, of course, non-standard hangars on the other side that you can land at that don't require ATC permission, but we're not going to be checking those ones out, mostly because I want to see how well you guys get in and out using the ATC hangars. Just because it looks cool. I want to see those hangars open up, watch that really beautiful animation, and watch people take off and land and see how that unfolds. Just like in the previous video, I'm going to go ahead and try to give you guys a different rating. I'm not always going to give everybody a rating. I'm just going to flow in the moment. Once again, this video is completely unscripted. We have no idea what's going to happen today. I have no idea what's going to happen today. Anything could happen. A 890 could crash into the side of this. I have no idea. But regardless, we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to sit here until our first customer comes in, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the cameras here, and we'll be back here shortly. All right, first customer of the day here, we have a Cutlass Black taking off from the small hangar, lifting up in VTOL. Love to see it. Don't see the gear coming up quite yet. We see the VTOLs aligning now, which is perfectly fine. Though remember, it does have gravity in those hangars. You can keep them on right as soon as you exit the air shields, but it's 0 gravity, so it's not a big deal. Little slight hesitation as they pull out. Gear is now finally up, thank goodness. Small hesitation. They're kind of just gingerly pushing their way up. Perfectly fine. Again, remember folks here, we're only rating based on the aesthetics. Everything that everybody does here is for the most part functional. So long as you're not crashing your ship into anything or blowing up in the process, everything is perfectly valid. We're only rating things here based on the aesthetics. So this is also the reason why I don't use a ship and start targeting people so you see their names and whatnot. This is completely anonymous, this is completely secretive. Nobody knows I'm here, of course. And I'm just watching here because I kind of want to watch how the community takes off and lands. And you can see here, this Cutlass had some hesitation and now they're kind of backing up for some reason. Not entirely certain what's going on here. Either they're trying to set their route in the star map, or potentially they are, well, that's probably the most common thing. Most people, when they come out of the hangars, they're setting their route before they take off. And there's 2 types of people that kind of come out of, oh, we're seeing the hangars opening back up. So, yep, this is the same player. So they pulled out of the hangar and then they hesitated for a bit and then they forgot something. Maybe they left the oven on. So now they opened the hangars back up and it looks like they're reversing right back into the spot. Hey, works perfectly fine, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's no reason to rotate or anything like that. Just reverse, gear down, and bring it down. Now, not quite a, well, they have to readjust their profile there. It looks like they want to be a little bit more centered there. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's perfectly fine. Small hangar on the right side opens up, by the way. Look at that. See if I can see what's in there. I'm not going to quite give a rating to that one, that Cutlass, because it wasn't a full takeoff and landing. It was more like a touch and go. Oh, Arrow taking off from the right small hangar. Beautiful gear up, immediately out of the way, doing some strafing up as he rolls around the actual Grim Hex asteroid here, off into the inky black. Look at those beautiful rolls. Gotta love the Arrow. Wonderful, wonderful light fighter. One of my favorite. And off he goes to either look for trouble or do some missions, whatever it is. Either way, I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10 because that is a solid start for the day. This is the aesthetic we're looking for here, folks. Lift up so you get some altitude inside the hangar, gear up, and then push forward all in one smooth motion. Again, aesthetics are important here. That is what I'm rating. Entirely on aesthetics, nothing more. Everything you're going to probably see here is pretty functional. And we see the small hangar opening up. Yep, Cutlass Black is back at it again. Take another crack at it. But yeah, everything everybody does here, so long as you land and you get the landing complete, that is completely functional. You are doing perfectly fine. We're not judging whether you can or cannot land. We are simply judging the aesthetics of your landing. And this is all for fun and games, guys. We're just doing this anonymously. I don't have anybody's names up here showing up. And that's because I don't want to single out people and call them out individually. Again, this is just a fun community event where a lot of other citizens are going to be watching as well as myself. Just for fun, just to enjoy it. All right, nice and smooth. Gear up. Cutlass doing phenomenal here. Now they're raising their altitude a little bit, which is perfectly fine because where we're situated here, Crusader's off to the left slightly. So they're going to have to clear Grim Hex. So you're going to see a lot of people do that, at least where we are in the rotation on Yela here. So I'm assuming they're going to be setting their route on the star map here shortly. And then they're going to be rotating around. Yep, there they go. They are rotating around because if you need to get to where you need to go, you have to clear Grim Hex. And then you're going to want to rotate if you need to get towards the inner planets over there like Hurston or ArcCorp. Now, if this is a stock Cutlass, we should see it physically move into quantum and it won't blink out of existence like a smaller ship does. And that's because the quantum drive is slower. Yep, there it goes. You can see it in a couple of frames there as it zips off at high speed. And that's what you're all doing when you go into quantum. All right, folks, let's see who the next customer is going to be. You can see Crusader looks like Yavin Prime right now as it goes behind Grim Hex. It's a little bit slow, actually. I've been out here for a hot minute now, and not too much action has been unfolding here. Like I said, completely unscripted. We have no idea what's going to happen. So I'm just admiring the views while I wait for something to happen. Usually we would expect GrimHex to be quite lively with activity. Again, lawless, so there tends to be a lot of PvP activity around here. People crashing into rocks, all kinds of nonsense you definitely see out here. But for some reason, it is quiet as a church mouse out here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the cameras again and wait until we see somebody pop in. All right, I'm hearing something coming in. I'm hearing, oh goodness, something just, oh no! Oh no, we just had our first crash of the day. We have, oh, it is a Corsair. Oh goodness. Crashes right into the rocks coming in at high speed. I was practically falling asleep here. There was just nothing happening. All of a sudden I hear thrusters in the distance. I flip on the recording and the next thing I know, there is apparently a Corsair crashing into the rocks. Unlucky for the owner. I feel for them because I have died to invisible rocks out here on Grim Hex. I have seen many players crash into many of the rocks out here in Grim Hex. Just whatever reason, there's just some bad collision issues. Sometimes rocks can appear invisible. Other times people just misjudge their ability to just fly in at high speed through the rocks, and then they realize that their trajectory is on a death roll and they're about to crash right into the rocks. Gotta be careful, guys. Make sure you pay attention to those surroundings. And yes, if you run into those invisible rocks, I mean, I feel for you. That is so frustrating, especially if you spent so much time getting here. But I mean, it is what it is. CIG's got to work on it. Nothing else going on. I guess I'll cut it here until the next one pops in. All right, small hangar is opening up here. Actually, excuse me, the medium-sized hangar is opening up. Let's see what we got here. I think I see the inklings of a Corsair. Yes, we do. We got a Corsair here about to pop out of the hangar. Already got its engines and whatnot powered on. It's lifting off. Very nice. A little bit of nose down action there. Never hurt anybody. All right, now you got to be careful. Corsair's tall because of those wings, but this pilot definitely knows that. Have no issues clearing the hangar. All right, let's get that gear up. Let's get those wings extended. A little bit delayed on that. They still look like they got the gear down, still got the wings folded up. Oh, sorry, my tracker is bugging out there. Let me rotate the camera around. There we go. And let's see if we can get a nice view. Okay, they got the wings extended and the gear finally up, it appears. I mean, it's a little bit delayed there. I mean, the overall takeoff was pretty good. And they're firing off. Again, remember, this is GrimHex, so there could be some PvP. As we can see, the Corsair is just firing off into the wild over there. We only see the actual bolts. Yeah, it's a little bit, could be some, action up there. I have no idea what's going on. Can't see it this far away. I see an engine trail off in the distance over there. Someone else must be coming in. Oh, small hangar. Oh, someone just took off from the small hangar behind us. Sneaky. Sneaky. I wanted to watch that. Oh, goodness. Yeah, is there any action going up there? I can't see the bolts anymore. It is what it is. Yeah, that Corsair, I would love to see the gear and the wings fold down. I'm going to have to give that about a 8 out of 10 because it was a good takeoff. It was good. But as you can see from a visual perspective, it does look kind of goofy when you just have your gear down and your wings folded up. Doesn't matter in the slightest in gameplay terms, but it does not look as good. All right, on to the next one. All right, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because finally something is happening here. I've been waiting here for God knows how long, and finally we have a hangar opening up here. You can even see that it is now nighttime here. It is dark as heck out here, and it's been some time since I cut the cameras off last. Now we got somebody finally landing here. Some type of small ship of some descript here. It looks to be a Mustang with some kind of custom skin. Hard to say because it's a little dark here, and he's missing a wing, actually. So this Mustang is missing a wing, probably doing some missions or something like that, lost a wing. Any number of things could have happened there, and it looks like they're coming in to Grim Hex to have one of those famed pirate mechanics to fix them up on the cheap, it seems. Gear is now down, looking solid, coming in nice and smooth, looking relatively centered. Oh, look at that, butter. All in one smooth motion. A little bit of hesitation, there's a little bit of keyboard catting there, but you know what? That is perfectly fine. I love that. I'm going to rate that one about an 8 out of 10 because it was phenomenal. It was all one motion coming in, but there was some hesitation, and again, that has to do with some of that keyboard catting. Folks, if you are keyboard and mouse and you want to get better at smoothing out those landings, practice with your decoupled flying. It is much harder, I understand that, but if you hate that jutteriness and you want more control over your ship, practicing decoupling is king there. It will help you improve overall your flows when you land. But again, it takes a lot of practice, so get used to it, and you'll start to see you'll improve over time. But yeah, it's been a long time since I had initially cut the cameras. You can see Crusader's all the way on the right there. I think when I last stopped recording, it was behind Yela, so it's been quite a while. Anyway, let's go ahead and see who pops in next. All right, small hangar opening up here on the right side. Let's see who we get. Another arrow, gear's already up. Slight, oh no, it's not a hesitation. It's moving my direction. It looked like they were sitting still, but they're not. And nice and smooth. Love the rolling out. This is the fun thing about watching light fighters take off, especially zippy light fighters, is they have this kind of air of cockiness to them as they take off because, hey, it's like Top Gun for these guys. Look at those beautiful trails also as they zip off, probably heading towards Yela, it looks like. That was phenomenal. One smooth motion and some lovely little acrobatics for us. I'll give that a 9 out of 10. That's a phenomenal one. That was really, really, really good. That was a lot of fun to watch. All right, let's wait for the next customer. All right, I'm hearing some thrusters come in, small hangar opening up, and we have a Nomad coming in. Looks like he's got his ramp down for some reason. Love that pass-by sound, sounding great. Lining things up. He is upside down. Actually, maybe it wasn't the ramp I was seeing. I just realized he's upside down, so that was probably the wings. Gear is now down, rotates correctly. Oh no, some hesitation before they go into the air shield. They were looking solid. Why'd you stop? I know some of you in the comments say that sometimes you see people hovering and stop because they're probably trying to repair and rearm, but this guy's not even in the hangar yet, so I don't think that's what the case is. They just kind of, for some reason, stopped before they actually got into the hangar, and you can see now they have passed the air shield. Now they're going to line it up, looking pretty solid. I'd say that's pretty good, and touchdown. Nice and smooth, given the Nomad's reputation for having a weird landing gear that kind of does some weird angular snapping now and then. But looking good. Cause see, there's some the way they pulled in was really good. They kind of were upside down, and that happens because GrimHex is in 0G, right? So it can be confusing as to whether you're in the right spot or not. So as you approach the hangars, look for the little circle with the arrow on it, and you'll see it's either on the top or the bottom of the hangar, and that'll immediately tell you whether you're upside down or not if you're ever confused. So if you're looking at the hangar and you see the arrow on top, that means you're upside down. If you see it on the bottom, you're right side up. You're good. Hey, medium hangar opening up here. And I don't see anything coming in inside here, so that means something is indeed coming in here. And what do we got? A C2 coming in. One of my favorites. Love the C2. Gear's already down. A little bit early for my taste here. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see how they bring it in. Got their lights on, which makes sense because it is dark as heck out here. All right, they're lining themselves up, descending. Okay, now they're nice and smooth. I would love to see them tuck their wings in, right? It's got plenty of space. It's not a big deal, but remember, there's engines on those wings for VTOL mode, so they do give you a little bit more control as you approach and you get into the gravity well of that hangar, and also makes you a little bit smaller on the sides there. Nice. Oh, careful. Yeah, I gotta watch for that C2. It does tend to kind of want to push forward a little bit. So as you come in and you land, you want to come straight down with the C2. You don't want to come in at speed or you end up pushing it and you end up hitting the nose, which I see a lot of C2 pilots do that. Anyway, for the Nomad pilot, very solid, but there was that hesitation before they went in the air shield. So, I mean, overall, I'll give that an 8 out of 10. And the C2 pilot, phenomenal, but of course, it was not 100% perfect. I would love to see the VTOLs come in and actually be utilized there, so I'll also give them an 8 out of 10. All right, let's see what we get next. All right, small hangar opening up. We got a warden of some description here on the pads, ready to go, waiting for the hangars to fully open. There we go, lifting up. Are they going to, oh, here we go. My game is freezing. I explained this already in the previous videos. Sorry about that, folks. All right, looks like they decided to wait for the hang. Oh, my game is going to pause again. I apologize for this. I mean, I have a 4090 in here on a Gen 5 SSD, and this game still, for some reason, lags. I think it has, again, like I've explained before, has something to do with the way my processor interacts with the game. I do have a 13th Gen i9. Star Citizen seems to hate it for whatever reason. All right, this guy decided, he's like, never mind. I left the oven on too, I think, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to go and try to check up on that as they land and kind of bobble on the actual pad there a little bit. Once again, these are just touch and goes. I'm not going to give a rating to touch and goes. But anyway, yeah, I apologize for that, folks. It does kind of ruin the experience here a little bit, but not much I can do about it right now, short of, say, I don't know, getting Windows 11. So beyond that, I really can't do much else about it. But yeah, oh, he's turning around. Okay, so I think what happened is they probably decided that they were going to, watch the gun, watch the forward gun. Yeah, careful with the nose down when you are in the warden. That big gun is definitely bigger than you think. Objects in mirror are definitely bigger than they appear. Oh, there's a little bit of a pause there. There we go, taking off finally. Is he missing a wing? Wait, so they went and repaired, I think, I'm assuming that's what they tried to do, and then what is going on? The Matrix is falling apart here. He's missing a wing. He went back in, I'm assuming, to repair, and then the hangar door just decided just to materialize closed like that. And then the hangar's opening again. My guess here is that the hangar doors were desynced. So I'm sure many of you have experienced this before, where you leave the hangar and sometimes you just explode leaving the hangar, or you get lucky and you just get damaged. You lose a gun, or you get weapons destroyed or something like that, or you lose a wing. And I think that's what happened here. You saw how the door appeared shut. It just instantly appeared shut. There's sometimes desync with the doors where the door will actually be shut, but you see it as being open. The server sees it shut and you don't. Oh, there he goes. He just QT'd away. You can see he just blinks off into existence. But yeah, and that can definitely happen. That's an issue that can happen where the game is just desynced and you're hitting an invisible hangar that is technically closed and you're just kind of like materializing through it, losing your weapons, losing a wing in the process. I think that is probably what happened here. Very interesting to see from that perspective rather than being the pilot yourself. Now they're probably off to all this art of repair. All right, let's see who's next. Once again, a snooze fest here at GrimHex. Been a hot minute since I have seen anybody pop in. You already saw there, the sun is coming up here on Yela. It's still nothing. Yeah. I was told there's a lot of action here and there's nothing going on here. How's your day been? I am going crazy just sitting here in the nothingness of space watching nothing happen. I was promised action. I'm here in the middle of the day. I believe I'm on a European server right now, in the middle of the day of a European server here. And nothing. What happened? Everybody is now cowering from Hybrid V because they know I'm watching all your landings. I'm slowly losing my marbles here. Oh, so the small hangar finally opening up here. What have we got? Please give me content. A Nomad, possibly the previous Nomad owner, taking off nice and smooth. Look at that gear up. GrimHex giveth. GrimHex. What is GrimHex? I'm losing my mind out here. Anyway, that was gorgeous. I love that. That is a absolute 9 out of 10 takeoff. I am close to giving that a 10 out of 10. I might actually give that a 10 out of 10 just because I'm losing my mind. This Nomad owner is going to be the first to get a 10 out of 10 from me. As we see a Cutlass coming in here with the, ghoulish green livery, the Halloween skin, looking nice. Many of you asked in the past, what is an actual 10 out of 10 from Hybrid V? You never give them out. A 10 out of 10 is a takeoff or landing that looks like something you'd see in a movie, like Star Wars or Star Trek, anything like that. Any type of pop culture, Star Wars-y, space, thing like that. Because again, Chris Roberts builds his game off of like a lot of Star Wars stuff. We want to see a landing that looks just like that. See how this guy has his gear down, right? You don't do that in Star Wars. Luke Skywalker doesn't have his gear down halfway, I'm losing my mind here. He does not have his gear down, kilometers away from his landing site here as he comes in. Normally, you would like to see them come to the hangar nice and smooth, one motion, hover above the hangar, put the gear down as they're setting down, right? In this case, a lot of people put their gear out early just because they don't want to forget. I know I've forgotten putting gear down, so Yeah, nice landing. Not a shabby landing from the Cutlass. A little bit of hesitation. Gear down a little bit too early for my taste, though. So I'm going to have to give that... I'll give that an 8 out of 10. Close to a 7, though, because it was a little bit juddery there. I think they kind of gave a little bit too much on the power down, strafe down there, which kind of made it juddery when they hit the deck there. But yeah, like I said, 10 out of 10s are like movie landings. If you all want to see an example of that, let me know in the comments. I will absolutely put it up either in one of these videos or a separate video, what an example of a 10 out of 10 landing looks like. All right, anyway, I'm going to cut it here and hopefully somebody comes in with the next few minutes. Let's find out. All right, small hangar is opening up here. Let's see what we got. It looks to be empty, so someone is coming in for landing here at GrimHex today. Let's see who's coming in. Are they going to come in at a high rate of speed and miss GrimHex, or are they going to actually slow down and actually control their way in? Let's see. Not hearing anything right now in the speakers. I have my volume cranked right now, even though I'm in 0G and you can't hear anything, LOL. Well, the thing is, the sound simulation still functions. You still hear thrusters and stuff. And I'm hearing nothing yet. You might not as well, because you're probably hearing music, because I'm undoubtedly putting music over this, but it is what it is. I'm the one listening here because I need to actually see where people are coming in and out from. And my guess, somewhere from the right, because if you are coming in to Grim, chances are you're going to Yela. You're going to be heading past the belt, coming from the right end, as well as Crusaders behind me and people coming from there. Usually a common area. So I'm going to try to look over here. There we go. We have a Cutlass Blue to be more specific, coming in. Looks like they slowed their roll and now they are going to be headed towards the hangars. Or they, I'm assuming this is the person that called the hangars. They seem to be kind of aimed at the non-standard hangars that are on the other side of GrimHex. And, oh, now they're going down. Okay. Oh, okay. No, I think they know where they're going. No, they're probably going to go for the non-standard hangars. They're kind of just floating. Okay. I think they're lost. That is my guess. I think they are lost. This is a common issue with GrimHex. A lot of people struggle to actually find where the hangars are. Like I said, it's very common, understandable. Once you've landed here enough times, it becomes second nature figuring out where you need to go. They don't actually know that they need to just kind of, head my way over here. They're trying to figure out for the life of them where these hangars are. Quick rule of thumb, if you ever see the hangar, or if you're confused as to where the hangars are, look for the non-standard hangars. They're very easy to spot. They have the red markings on them. You can easily, suss them out. Even in darkness, you can see them. Once you see them, you know you need to go to the opposite end of them. So if you ever see the dummy hangars, you just have to fly in the opposite direction. Just go towards the dummy hangars, and then you'll see that GrimHex is kind of almost elongated. It's almost got like an oblong shape in its design. So you know that if you see the dummy hangars on the other side of the actual asteroid that GrimHex is built out of, you will find the actual hangars. And you'll know too, because you'll see chunks of rock actually floating off. You can see this guy is he's still trying to find it. Still trying to find the hangar. He'll find it eventually. Everybody does in the end, but it can be annoying if you are not used to GrimHex. You don't come here very often. It can be very confusing trying to find it, especially at night. Very, very confusing. Yeah, he might be here for a hot minute trying to find this. I might cut here until he actually finds it, because he's not looking in the right direction currently. He's still just kind of going around the equator of GrimHex rather than going along the more elongated path here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and cut it here, and we'll see if he actually finds his way. Well, there you are, you cheeky blighter. As he finally spots it here, now he's going to make his way. Let's see if they actually can pull off a pretty decent landing here. As they kind of are slightly above. There we go. They found their hangar. There's you can see another hangar has just opened up here. Cutlass looks like also in the ghoulish green livery. Possibly the other Cutlass owner that we saw earlier. This guy, the Cutlass Blue, is upside down. So he's going to notice that very quick here, and he's going to have to roll in order to get the... There we go. Correct orientation. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. Cutlass in the ghoulish green livery taking off here. Gear still down. And gear is still down. Come on. There we go. Gears up as they start to aim in the direction they want to go. Cutlass Blue, on the other hand, got his gear down for ages there. he's a lot of hesitation coming in. Again, these could be newer players. There could be a whole, hap of reasons why this is happening to begin with. There's going to be a whole mess of reasons. You see a Redeemer there. Redeemer just spotted, hiding in the rocks there, taking a look at the other players in the area. Again, like I said, this is a PvP hot zone. So people are always constantly on their guard as the Cutlass in the green starts to take off. Cutlass blue fully landed now finally as the door closes. I'm going to take a look at this Redeemer here. See if I don't see any hangars opening up here, so I don't see this Redeemer calling in. Could be he's looking for trouble. We'll see here shortly. There he goes. Now he's peering out. Maybe he's possibly leaving. I did not see this guy take off at any point here, so this person definitely popped in here at some point. They came in and QT'd here, but now they're looking away, so it looks like they're planning on leaving. It could be bounty hunters. Remember that also this is a place that a lot of bounties love to hide in, so it could be that this Redeemer is possibly maybe hunting somebody here. It's hard to say. They're now looking away somewhere else now. But anyway, Cutlass blue, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to give that a 5 out of 10 just because of how long it took. And they were upside down. They had the gears at the incorrect time. There was just so much hesitation. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Can't all be winners. I get 5 out of 10s, guys. Sometimes I do. So don't ever feel bad if you don't ever pull it off yourself, all right? Again, no judging here. The only thing we're actually judging is the aesthetics. We're not judging the individual. I want to bring that up again. All right, and for the green Cutlass, I'll give that probably about an 8 out of 10 because it was smooth, but they had the gear a little bit down for too long for my taste personally. So I think that was good, but there could be some things they could tighten up there. I wonder what this Redeemer is doing. He's still just kind of chilling there as my computer lags out there. Apologize for that once again. All right, I cut the cameras abruptly because the Redeemer has been sitting there for a long time. You can still see him over there off to the right here. He's been sitting there, but I'm hearing thrusters coming in now, so I do want to see if I can capture that. So somebody's coming in here. What do we got here? Another Nomad. Look at that. The Nomad's just coming in force today. Nomad is a wonderful all-around ship. Just can pretty much do anything you can ask of it. It's a phenomenal ship, so I do not begrudge anybody for having Nomads in their repertoire here. So let's see. He hasn't actually called a hangar. Oh, there we go. Hangar's opening up. All right. Gears down. A little bit too early for my liking, but hey, it is what it is. As they come in, nice and smooth though. I can't begrudge that. Although there is hesitation, unfortunately, before they hit the air shield. Now, some people probably get a little bit skittish because of that desync issue we talked about earlier with hangars. That happens both ways. You can crash as soon as you leave, and you can sometimes crash into those invisible hangar doors as soon as you also come in. I've had that happen both ways for me as myself. A little bit rough on the landing there too. Be careful with the Nomad, that angular snapping that happens. You see, Redeemer still has just been sitting here forever. But that angular snapping that you get with the actual repulsor lift kind of landing gear on the Nomad, remember that you want to come in slow. Don't come in too fast, otherwise it snaps and then you start bobbling, and you could even take off the chin gun sometimes doing that. So you got to be very careful as you come in. Nice and smooth, guys. Nice and smooth. Yeah, that Nomad had a really nice approach, but the gear was a little early, and that angular snapping, that kind of... Oh, Deemer's finally moving. But yeah, that kind of rough landing there was a little bit snappy on that landing. It could be a lot better. I'm going to give that about an 8 out of 10, because it was nice, but could be cleaned up in some areas. And then Redeemer just disappears behind the rocks. All that time, probably they were moving equipment. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe they were doing bunkers, they had equipment on their Redeemer, and they were spending that entire time moving their inventory off. You have a move all button, guys. Remember, I mean, it doesn't always work, but hey, as long as you just constantly refresh your inventory and you move all, refresh your inventory, move all, it will generally work. Also remember to move ammo first. Sometimes that bugs out. Anyway, let's move on. Let's find the next customer. All right, small hangar opening up here. We have a Mustang. Gear is still down, unfortunately, as he rolls his way out. There we go. Gear is finally up, as they are probably going to orient themselves to find out where they want to go. So they're probably going to F2 themselves here. Yep, I can see, yep, I see the player in the cockpit reaching for their wrist. So they are now going to F2, set their route on the star map, and then we should see them orient and then disappear from existence here shortly as they go into quantum. They are, should have said it by now, taking a little bit of time here, probably trying to fight the star map. You can tell which people are like a little bit newer when it comes to learning the star map. They tend to take quite a lot of time trying to set their route. And then you have players that are a little bit more experienced. They kind of know where to push Star Citizen's buttons a little bit more to get it going. Like myself, for example, I know how to fudge with the star map to get it working about 90% of the time. Little trick for star map users, if you want to know, double click on the location you want to get to, more specifically the moon or planet. That will make things a lot easier, trust me. Double click on the planet or moon, and then click on the location you want to go to that's on that planet or moon, whether it's a station or whatever, and it works for all locations around the system. Double clicking is your friend. Trust me, you will thank me later. Let me know in the comments if you got that working, because I know some people are going to be like, oh my god, I did not know I could do that. But yeah, there we go. Now he's orienting to the destination he wants to get to, and we should see him disappear into existence. Gonna have to move because he's probably obstructed by rocks, because there's a lot in this area. There we go. Now he's going to probably blink out of existence because he's in a light fighter, which tend to have a pretty rapid drive here. So let's see what happens next. Oh, nope. He's just gonna push on forward. Maybe he's got to clear more rocks as he moves off into his destination here. Let me rotate the camera around. There we go. Oh, it doesn't matter because we're gonna lose him behind the rocks anyway. It is what it is. I wanted to see him quantum, but hey, we can't get them all. All right, let's wait for the next customer. Okay, small hangar opening up on the top right here. We have an anvil arrow taking off. Nice and smooth departure. However, they have their gear down the entire time here. There we go. Gear is finally coming up. A little bit delayed on the gear, so aesthetically it doesn't look the greatest. I'm going to give that about an 8 out of 10 because of that delayed gear retraction. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, unfortunately, that last server had 30K'd, and I'm on a brand new server on a brand new day, so I'm going to try to capture a bit more footage here. And the first customer I got this morning is a Pisces looking to find a spot to land, probably trying to find the hangars here. I don't actually see the hangars called up, so this person definitely is trying to find the hangars. Like I said the other day, folks, if you see those non-standard hangars, you're going to go to the other side of that, and you will find GrimHex. You'll find those hangars buried into the side of the rock there. So you can see this person is floating around, probably decoupled, which you got to watch out for because those rocks are going to, those rocks are going to sneak up on you. Guys, remember, if you're going to fly in any type of asteroid, any type of debris field, always pay attention to the direction of travel you're flying in. Don't take your eye off the ball. If you're going to fly decoupled, make sure, as my game pauses here, I do apologize for that. I've already explained this many times before, but anyway, back to what I'm saying. If you're flying in any place that's contested with debris or asteroids, always try to focus on the direction of travel that you are headed in. So if you are drifting because you're decoupled, you're going to want to try to pay attention to that direction of travel so you make sure you're not going to crash into anything. And that helps if you have like track IR, or you could just use free look by hitting Z on your keyboard and just using your mouse. Either way, you need to pay attention to your direction of travel. Very unfortunate for that Pisces owner. It happens, but you know, just got to pay attention, guys. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's see how this server shakes out today. All right, medium hangar opening up over here. Let's see what we got. Do we have something taking off or landing? I don't see anything immediately in the hangar, so we probably have somebody coming in for arrival. Let's see what we got. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here. Let's take a look. I'm not hearing anything right now. Like I said before, I got my volume cranked to the max. It's a lot quieter out here in the middle of space, but you still can hear the simulated thrusters as people come in and out. And I'm not quite hearing anything, not quite seeing anything quite yet. But I'm going to stick around and wait for whoever... Oh, here we go. We have an MSR pulling in. That's our Mercury Star Runner, looking for the hangars upside down as he's rolling around trying to reorient themselves. Looks like they're going to identify the hangars. There they go. Now let's see how well they're going to slip into the hangars. They are upside down right now, so they're going to have to reorient here once they get into position. They're going to have to roll over and then get into the proper position to land. And they probably will see that here shortly as they're kind of gingerly making their way into the area. Let's see here. They got their hangar identified. They should see the arrow is above them, which means there they go. They got to roll. Very nice. Got their light on so they can easily see everything as they move in. Very nice. Okay, getting the orientation correct. A little bit slow on the, on the upkeep here, trying to move in. Watch out for that top turret. Looks like they got enough clearance. The top turret on the MSR can be a bit of an annoyance if you're not aware of that as you're moving in. See the gear coming down here. I do like the, slightly more delayed gear. However, there is some hesitation as they come in, as they're trying to be very cautious and just kind of slowing things down here. Looks like they're lining themselves over the pad, and they should be setting down here shortly. Looks like a very nice alignment. You can see that they're trying to nose up and make sure they have the largest amount of clearance possible. And look at that. Nice, smooth touchdown. A little bit of hesitation. I would love to see that all in one smooth motion, but overall, that was a very, very controlled arrival. And I'm going to give that about an 8 out of 10. You know, actually, no, I'll stick with an 8 out of 10. I was going to give it a 7, but there's really nothing to criticize other than the hesitation. They're just being a little bit slow. I would love it to be a bit smoother, and that's really the only critique I have of that. So, I think I'll stick with an 8. I was originally going to give it a 7, but I'll do an 8. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, another medium hangar opening up here. Let's see who is going to come or go here. Don't see anything, so we got another rival coming in here. Let's see what we got. Once again, going to zoom out here and try to listen to see if anybody is going to be popping in from any odd direction. And we got something off the right here. It looks like a Redeemer. A little bit of a rare sight today. Seeing a Redeemer coming in for landing. Don't know if they have gunners. It does not look like the gunner stations are deployed on that. So it looks like it could be a solo traveler with their Redeemer. Maybe they were traveling across the system and they just wanted the ship that has the fastest drive. And because it has a military drive on this Redeemer, it's probably the quickest way for them to get to this area. Either way, very nice landing. Very smooth. Very little hesitation on that. I think I would like to see their gear be a little bit more delayed there, because as you saw as they came in, their gear was down the entire time. So aesthetically, not the greatest. So I'm going to have to give that an 8 out of 10. It was very solid, very smooth, but that gear, gotta worry about the gear. Remember, guys, we're trying to do some movie-style landings here. They don't pull the gear down until right before they touch down. Small hangar opening up over here. We got a Pisces on departure. Gear's already up, pushing their way out nice and slowly, looking solid here. It looks like they're going to probably have to rotate around because Crusader's on the left side of GrimHex from where I am positioned here. So this person is probably, they're going to have to go over GrimHex to get where they need to go. If they're trying to get to Crusader or any of the inner systems there, they're going to have to get around. They're going to have to get around this big boulder we call GrimHex. So it looks like they're going to make their way around there to avoid the obstructed path and probably quantum away. So let's see if they are going to disappear from existence because they got the smaller drive, or if they are just going to go ahead and zip on out. Let's see what they do here. I'm going to focus on them for just a little bit longer here. We'll see what they intend to do. Gonna see here if this guy's going to zip away. Oh, he's pushing. He's moving. So he's just going to move on. Okay, well, not going to see his departure, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the next customer. Okay, small hangar, top right, opening up once again. We have a Avenger Titan of some description here. Gear is still down as they roll out. A little bit jittery on the rollout here. I am on a European server, so I may see some lag here and there. So that may be what we're seeing here. This person may have some connection issues, or I'm having connection issues. Who knows? Either way, their gear is still down here. So we're going to see them as they make their way probably to Yela, it looks like. We might see them blink out of existence because they got a smaller drive here. Let's see what they do. They may have a military drive, but I doubt it. We'll see. Let's see what they do. I do want to see this departure away. And off they go. Yeah, that one I'm going to have to give. I mean, they smoothly got out of the hangar. I'm going to have to give that an 8 out of 10. Only because, that gear. That gear. All right, let's move on. All right, someone flying over GrimHex here. We have a Mercury Star Runner, it seems, coming in for landing. They got their gear down quite early. Would love to see that before they just touch down. But as most folks do, they're going to put their gear down way in advance there. Here we go. Now they got their hangar called up. They already eyeballed where GrimHex is at, so they're just going to go ahead and make their way on over. All right, now they got to slow themselves down. Love that pass-by sound. Thank you. Let's see if they can line themselves up, because right now they are upside down. Here we go. They're kind of drifting a bit. I wonder if they're decoupled. Gotta watch it because the MSR, despite having very powerful engines, it can be quite drifty in decoupled mode, so you gotta be careful of that. Gotta control it as you start to apply speed. You gotta remember to apply that opposite thrust if you're in decoupled mode. You gotta apply it quite early. All right, they're trying to line themselves up here. They gotta get back into the correct orientation, which they have done, and now they have to align with the hangar. Here we go. They see the hangar. Then they're going to probably have to get in front. There we go. And then they're going to yaw a little bit of hitching there. Apologize. And now they're going to have to get it center on the pad. Let's see how well they do here. We've got a nice view of the pad, by the way. Look at that. Look at that. Ah, nice and smooth. A little bit of one tap, a little bit of a tricycle landing there, but not too bad. Looking very, very smooth. A little bit of hesitation, a little bit too much early gear there. They also missed the pad a bit. It's about like, I'll give that an 8. I'll be generous today. I could give that a 7 because of the meandering and the early gear stuff, but you know what? I'll just give it an 8. I think that's perfectly fine. It works. It was reasonable. Did exactly as expected. Just the main thing was the gear was just too early. All right, let's move on. All right, medium hangar opening up here. It's been very quiet also on this server on a separate day. Just for whatever reason, GrimHex is just not popping off in the last couple of days I've been recording here. But regardless, we got somebody here. We have a 600i taking... Uh-oh, no. Okay, I suspect I see what's going on here. Okay, this happens with a lot of Origin ships and a couple of very other random ships also as well in some of these hangars. It happens in GrimHex's hangars and it happens in some of the Lagrange point hangars as well. If you ever have this where your ship is just freaking out in the hangar or you can't even lift your ship off the hangar, what's happening is when you spawn your ship, sometimes it also spawns a bed that is not attached to your ship. And that bed has collision and that causes your ship to absolutely flip out. When that happens, stay calm, hop out of the ship, go back to the ASOP terminals. Even though the ship is going to be freaking out, just hop out of the ship, go back to ASOPs, store the ship. When you call the ship back out again, the bed will no longer be a thing. The bed won't spawn back into the world anymore. For some reason, it's just a weird thing that happens. I don't know why there's just a rogue bed that will spawn in your ship. This happens a lot with Nomads. It happens with the 600i. I've seen it with the 400 a couple times. Oh, you can see, hopefully you can see with the detail. I'm running a brand new 4K monitor. Hopefully you noticed, by the way. So hopefully you see that with the 4K detail and all 16 times the detail. You can see that tiny little beacon suit man down there running away from his ship as it freaks out. That is more than likely the pilot, and they are doing exactly what I would suspect they're going to do. I think they're going to go to the ASOPs and store the ship. This is exactly what you do in this situation. Most people get frustrated and they'll just like log out or whatever. No, it's fixable. Just get out of your ship, go back to ASOP, store, and then retrieve the ship. It should be perfectly fine after that. So we should see this ship despawn here shortly as the owner will put it in storage here. So we should see it just dematerialize out of existence and then the hangar closes back out. So we'll see how that rolls here. Yep, there we go. See, that is exactly what you do. So this person has experienced this problem in the past before, and they know exactly what they need to do to correct it. And there you go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. We'll see if the 600i owner will respawn the ship immediately, and we'll cut right back to it. All right, be right back. Like I said, not a lot of activity going on in GrimHex. 2 days I've been recording this. This video might be slightly longer because I really want to capture some, just craziness of GrimHex that you all know happens, but just for whatever reason today and yesterday have been very quiet. And so, yeah, I've just been enjoying the view, waiting for people to come in, as it's just been very, very quiet. Just whatever reason, GrimHex just does not want to cooperate today. Folks are just not in a crashy/shooty mood, as we see what looks to be a Mercury Star Runner pulling up to the hangars here as my game once again pauses annoyingly. Very annoying issue, folks. Once again, I apologize for that. I will try to search for solutions for that. But in the meantime, this is all we got to deal with. Luckily, it doesn't really affect anything else other than just your viewing experience. So I do apologize for that. Doesn't cause my game to crash or anything like that. It is perfectly serviceable. All right. This guy's coming in for landing here. Doesn't have his gear down yet, which I like to see. I want to see this person come in. And they put the gear down a little bit too early. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, nothing wrong with the functionality there, but I would love to see it right before they land, just like they do in the movies, right? Watch any movie where they do like landings like that in sci-fi. They always put the gear down right before they touch down. Nice. So they touch down with the center of mass kind of, because the center of mass could be a little bit weird on the MSR, so they kind of decided to do a butt down landing, which works fine, but the MSR, you can definitely just do it just a straight down landing. You don't need to necessarily do that, because that gear spring can be a little bit wild on that, and you will get a lot of bobbling if you're not even as you come in. All right, very nice landing. I'll give that, I'm going to be a little bit more generous, and I will say that's going to be No, you know what? I have to be consistent. I'm gonna have to give that an 8 just because it was so early on the gear. I would give them a 9 because I like the way it was, but the gear was down a little too early. All right, let's move on. Okay, medium hangar opening up over here. Let's see what we got. 600i owner that we saw earlier that got stuck with that weird bed collision issue here. Finally got their ship back up and running here. There was quite a delay between them storing it and pulling it up. Nice liftoff. Gear is up. Love to see it. Let's see how they depart now. Waiting for the doors to open. Looking solid. Looking good. Watch the upstrafe. Oh, no. Oh, no. 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 The throw. The throw. Ah, they had it so good, and then they unfortunately upstrafed a little bit too early. Remember that as they pulled the gear down. Remember that the cockpit is way in the front of the 600. You still have a lot of ship behind you, so you got to make sure that you're well clear of the hangar before you start doing upstrafe maneuvers like that, because that back end will clip into all sorts of nonsense. So make sure you give yourself extra distance before you end up upstrafing or doing any type of maneuvers. All right, let's see. Yep, there he goes. Off into quantum. Love to see it. Unfortunately, that takeoff, while I could see it was a masterwork in the making, there was just the throw, unfortunately. I'm going to have to give that a 7. So sorry, 600, but we have to move on. Sorry about that. All right, small top right hangar is opening up, and we have a unicorn coming out of the hangar here. That is an Asperia Prowler. I say unicorn because you don't see them very often in the wild now. And that is because it is literally the worst ship in the game. And I'm not saying this out of just spite or anything like that. I'm saying this as a previous owner of a Prowler. I love the look of that ship. It is just awful. Has worse health than even a Hornet. Yes, you heard that right. A dropship having worse health than a medium fighter. It also flies horrifically bad. And it also doesn't have stealth, despite the fact that that is its main defensive point. It has 0 stealth capability. It is just an awful, awful ship. Great looking ship, but not enough for me to hold on to one at least, and I know a lot of people got rid of theirs as well as a result of how terrible the ship is. But hey, this guy's got one here. Cool. Let's see how they do in the takeoff, and we can also look at how gorgeous the ship is, or at least how unique it is. I know not everybody thinks it's a good looking ship. Either way, let's see how this takeoff is. Looks like they're kind of meandering in the hangar still, haven't taken off quite yet. Maybe they are switching between the pilot and co-pilot seat, who knows. It could be a weird business. This ship tends to be a little bit buggy and whatnot, so... Oh, here we go. Taking off. Nice. All right, gear is up. Nice and easy push out. Looking solid. Love to see that. That is already an immediate 9 out of 10. That is a gorgeous takeoff. Hey, Hybrid in the editing room here. Looking back at the footage, this is obviously a 10 out of 10 takeoff. I do not know why in the moment I gave it a 9 out of 10. This Prowler pilot did all of us proud. Anyway, back to the video. Beautiful. Look, I mean, come on. How could you hate this ship? It looks so cool. I just hate that it sucks. In terms of everything that it does, it's like, it's supposed to be a dropship. It's terrible at being a dropship. It's supposed to be stealth. It's terrible at being stealth. It's also very well focused on combat as he goes into QT there. It's also supposed to be well rated for combat, and it's terrible at combat. Let's see. We got a Eclipse coming in, possibly to land. He's kind of further back. He might be landing at the non-ADC hangars. But yeah, the Prowler, I mean, I could talk about it for hours. I love that ship to death, but I just can't love it enough until CIG gives more love back to it. But yeah, let's see. Looks like the Eclipse is hanging out there. Could be that they're looking to possibly land at the non-standard hangars here. Don't see anybody else around off in the distance. Most people are going to be coming from the right now, depending on our position here. Yeah, and I'm not hearing anything else. Not seeing anything else. Don't see the hangars opening up, so that Eclipse could be, maybe they're trying to find them in the Moby Glass, like trying to find the hangars to call the ATC. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, because that Eclipse is not really doing much up there. He could be actually, because it is Grim Hex and a lot of bounties like to hide, so it's possible he's just hanging out and waiting for someone to take off here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it and see if anything actually happens. All right, one of the medium hangars opening up here. That Eclipse is still floating out there, so he might be waiting for... This could be his potential target. We shall see. Looks like we have an MSR here facing the opposite direction, and this is probably because this is the previous MSR we saw land earlier, and it looks like they did not store it. They just landed, did their business, and now they are taking off. Gear is up, looking solid. Nice reversal out. Nothing to complain about there. No drama. Looking solid. Now they're going to have to orient their way off station here. There they go. Now they're going to have to head wherever it is their destination takes them. And that looked pretty darn good. You saw how they took off. They lift off, put the gear up, and then they smoothly backed out of that spot, which, that's what I'm looking for. That's a great 9 out of 10 right there. That's a phenomenal takeoff. And look how awesome they float off into space here as the as it becomes harder to look at them because the sun is a deadly laser here. So I apologize if you can't see that. Hopefully YouTube's compression is still visible here. I'll try to kind of get, there he goes. Off he goes into quantum. Try to get you a view there so you can see him as he jettisons off. All right, let's see who else pops in. All right, it's been quite some time here, and unfortunately I have not had any other customers, and that Eclipse is still up there somewhere. I saw him floating around for a little bit. He hasn't been doing much himself lately. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here and wrap things up. All right, something is going on out here. I'm seeing tracers off to my right. I had already done my outro and basically had cut everything here, but I'm turning the cameras back on because there is an epic battle all of a sudden now as I'm trying to come back to GrimHex. There's just a battle over here. There is a constellation fully manned fighting this Redeemer who is also fully manned. My guess is these are bounty hunters chasing their target to Grim. This constellation was coming into land when all of a sudden this Redeemer just came out of nowhere and just started unloading on them. Now they're going to be playing chicken in the armistice zone. I was waiting for some action for 2 whole days at GrimHex. It got nothing, and then right as I wrapped up my outro for this video, immediately there is just action. There's all-out chaos here. Goodness. Man, this is GrimHex giveth, GrimHex taketh. Yeah, so I had already wrapped up an outro and everything for this video, and I was just coming back, and then immediately I just heard a gunfire and thrusters, and just all chaos just broke loose. I could see the Redeemers. Yep, there he is. There's Redeemer. Looks like they're engaging that Andromeda down there, and they're going to be playing chicken with the armistice zone because it's a hard armistice zone. Which is one of the bigger criticisms a lot of people have of GrimHex is the hard armistice zone here. But yeah, if he's going to go into that armistice zone, he's not going to find him. All right, it looks like the hostilities have ceased for now. I've been here for a couple more minutes, and it looks like probably the Andromeda had gone into the armistice zone, so not much the bounty hunters can do there. Oh well. But I'm dying of hunger and thirst, so I'm going to take the Andromeda's hangar back into GrimHex to get something to eat. Folks, if you did genuinely enjoy this video, please leave a like as it really does help out the channel. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this in the future, all the ups and downs, bumps and bruises, pauses and whatnot, subscribe. Until next time, fly safe because you never know who's watching. Or freezing in this case, which will be me. And I'll see you all in the black.
Street 320 elevation 13 southbound.